you so much for coming to this session. My name is Shang, and I'm from Liang University, Hong Kong. And my co-author for this paper is Professor Yanto Chandra from the Hong Kong Polytechnic University. So the topic of our presentation today is employment as a derivative of hybrid organizing. So it's actually two phases of study under a same project that we developed to investigate the employment of people with disability within the context of work integration social enterprises. So this is some background information. From the disability literature, we know that employment plays a key role among members of marginalized groups, not only because of its financial benefits, but also because employment could improve social and vocational skills of disadvantaged population and integrate them more fully into the mainstream society. But however, despite efforts from different sectors, the employment rate of disabled people still remain quite low, and even if they are employed, many of them are still suffering from discrimination or stigma in the workplace. So under these circumstances, work integration social enterprises emerge as an alternative solution to address social exclusion in the labor market. Particularly, it refers to organizations that seek to help poorly qualified or less competitive individuals in the job market to gain employment opportunities. And we found that it's actually a major form of social enterprise, especially in the Asian context, such as Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Singapore. And the existing literature has already highlighted the potential of work integration social enterprises in improving quality of life and improving working conditions of disadvantaged populations, and highlighted that through employment, work integration social enterprises facilitate an emancipatory process that promotes freedom and autonomy of their beneficiaries. So in this study, we highlight that employment of disadvantaged individuals serves a dual purpose in the context of WISE. On the one hand, employment is an engine that enables a social enterprise to create commercial value, and on the other hand, it also a key social intervention or emancipatory tool to create social value. So let's take a bakery that hires mentally disabled people to work as bakers as an example. The bread making activity performed by the beneficiaries or the disabled employees is a key economic activity that enables the bakery to generate revenue, while the bakery work can also empower the disabled employees by enhancing their socio-economic standing and quality of life. So therefore, we highlight in this paper that the employment in work integration social enterprises can be conceptualized as a hybrid means to create both social and commercial value, and it mirrors the logic of organizational hybridity at the individual level. So while the employment in the work integration social enterprises have been found to have many benefits to disabled people's health and well-being, however, there is very little understanding of how integration social enterprise design the jobs for people with disabilities to achieve their hybrid pursuits, and how the beneficiaries of work integration social enterprises perceive these job opportunities. So for this research project, we asked two research questions. How do work integration social enterprises design jobs for their disadvantaged employees? And how do disadvantaged employees perceive job opportunities at work social enterprises? Our study was divided into two phases. In phase one, we conducted semi-structured interviews with 16 work integration social enterprises in Hong Kong, Singapore, and Taiwan across different industries, including catering, IT, and personal services. And these social enterprises all hire people with different kinds of disabilities. And we selected these three regions because of their similarity in socio-economic development and the development of work integration social enterprises as a means to address the employment issues by the government. So other key findings, the first key findings about the target population of WISE, we found that most WISE focus on supporting people with moderate disability who are largely excluded by labor market and not suitable for shelter workshops. Our interviewees indicated that these groups of disabled people actually need more support than people with severe disability because they have access to social welfare services and shelter workshops that could cater their rehabilitation needs, while and also people with mild disability who are more able to find normal employment in open labor market. So we found that work integration social enterprise focus on filling the gaps in the empty space for people with moderate disability in this M spectrum. And our second findings related to strategies adopted by work integration social enterprise in designing jobs in a way that not only can meet rehabilitation needs of the disabled employees, but could also support them to be productive at workplace. We identify four key strategies. The first is building personal resilience, which includes ways practice of providing sufficient on-site job training and supervision to help disabled people develop critical vocational and personal skills and to enable a process of learning by doing, which focus on both personal and professional development of employees. And the second strategy is innovative job content design, which involves practices of making job tasks more manageable to disabled employees that suits their needs, capabilities, and strength. So, for example, one of our interviewees indicated that they simplified the process of making bread to disabled employees by dividing this process into smaller tasks, so each staff will only focus on one task. Some are responsible for making the dough, and some are responsible for creating cookie shapes. So these employees could in fact work very efficiently with this kind of job task arrangement. And the third type of strategy is developing an supportive and enabling environment. And we found that most work integration social enterprises have largely collaborated with other supporting bodies, such as employees' family members and their social workers, to ensure that employees' needs are fully understood and met in workplace and when they come back from home. So, moreover, the employees also are ensured that they have access to different assistant equipment or facilities which enable them to perform their jobs and tasks at the workplace. And the last strategy that we identify is creating a space of encounter where disabled employees could expand and broaden their social networks by having opportunities to interact and communicate with different groups of people. For example, some work integration social enterprises would assign disabled people to deal with customers' requests and bring them to attend marketing events to allow them have chances to interact with different groups of people. So after our phase 1 exploratory study, we then turn to the second question: how do the disadvantaged beneficiaries perceive job opportunities at work integration social enterprises? For the research method, we employ discrete choice experiment, which is a quantitative method that evaluates the relative importance of a set of attributes or that influence consumer choice behavior. This method has been commonly applied in marketing and tourism studies for exploring consumer preferences. It's based on random utility theory under the assumption that respondents choose an alternative that provides the greatest benefit, which suggests that decision makers are utility maximizers. So for this study, draw insight from literature and from our previous interviews with social enterprises, we identify 6 job attributes within are important to beneficiaries within the context of work integration social enterprise from relational, economic, and work environment aspects. And these interventions include providing social interaction opportunities, recognizing employees as contributors, offering decent salaries, and providing career advancement support and opportunities, providing extra workplace support, adopting a person-oriented organization culture. And we followed the best practices of choice experimental design and generated 8 choice sets for each respondent. The table here shows a sample choice set. So in the experiment, after reviewing the 2 hypothetical scenarios, respondents were required to select what integration social enterprise they prefer to work at based on the information given. So the survey was conducted between February and May 2019 in Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Singapore. We collected a total of 208 valid responses from disabled employees of work integration social enterprises, and here are some demographic statistics about these respondents. We have around half of them were male, half of them were aged between 25 to 34. Over a third of them reported having a hearing impairment, and almost 30 of them were with physical disabilities. So overall, we find that relational, economic, and work environment interventions in the model influence choice of disabled employees significantly. In general, we found that disabled people prefer to receive a higher salary, having more career advancement opportunities, having access to extra support in the workplace, being recognized as contributors instead of clients, and have more social interaction opportunities. And importantly, we found that among different interventions, economic interventions, including higher salary and career development opportunities, are much more valued by disabled workers over other interventions. And we also find that personal characteristics influence the job choices of disabled workers. For example, the findings showed that female respondents put a greater emphasis on being recognized as contributors and prefer to receive extra workplace support, while male respondents value potential earnings more over other aspects. And the results also demonstrate that age plays a role in disabled people's job choices, as older adults value career advancement support and opportunities less than people significantly. So overall, our project that consists of 2 phases of study provided evidence of how the job was designed in work integration social enterprise in a way that combines both social and financial logics. And we found that work integration social enterprise work closely with disadvantaged people at the middle of the M spectrum, who are often ignored or not suitable to social service programs and could not find normal employment in the labor market. And we demonstrate that economic job attributes were highly valued by disabled workers, and the job preferences of disabled workers are also shaped by their individual characteristics. And the employment disadvantaged people is also key to both social and financial performance of work integration social enterprise. We also provide practical insights to social entrepreneurs and other practitioners about how to design more effective interventions and job environments for their beneficiaries. So this is pretty much about our presentation today. Thank you very much, and any questions? Thank you.